Intriguing Insights podcast with Lynn
and Carl
is your weekly invitation to be a fly on the wall for the real, intriguing, yet fun conversations we like to have about life and the world around us.
From our hobbies, interests, and opinions to true crime, current events, and music. Join us as our minds wander together.
You just might be intrigued.
Hello.
Hey, darling.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm very well today. How are you?
Great. It's beautiful weather.
It is.
We're almost into summer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hopefully the cold is done. It's been so weird this year with the hot cold.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you can hear in my voice that I am sick again for probably the second time in as many months.
Yeah, maybe it's the pollen in the air.
It's you know what? I think it's the pollen, and I think it's the just cold season is just wacky this year because it's been 20 degrees and then it's been 90 degrees and then it's been 20 degrees and it's been 90 degrees and
yeah, I don't think it's gonna get cold again. So I think we're in the clear.
Better not.
Yeah, but we're in Florida, so we have the most beautiful weather, in my opinion, in the whole entire country.
Spoiled. We complain about it being hot and stuff, but honestly, we're pretty lucky, I will say.
Yeah, there's nothing to be complaining about. If you sweat a little bit, no big deal. Just make sure your car has AC and you are fine.
And you wear some deodorant.
That's okay.
Is that optional?
Some people like the manly musk,
Okay.
A little BO never killed nobody. Almost. All right. So today we're doing a deep dive on you.
On me.
Yes. I know a lot, but you're going to share with the audience today.
Yes.
So
yes,
go ahead.
I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit about me and opening up and,
Okay.
letting them in a little bit.
So let's start by your name,
My name is Lynette Perez. That is my government name.
Yeah.
And I go by Lynn. My family usually calls me Lynn. People that, out in the world, I'm Lynette for the most part.
So the nickname is Lynn.
Nickname is Lynn.
That's a short name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a short one. Makes sense, though. I don't have a lot of name to choose from. Fun fact about me. I do not have a middle name.
Ooh, you can create one.
I could. And you know what? I almost did. But,
What would it be if you had the choice?
You know what's weird? For some reason, since I was a kid, I wanted my middle name to be Anastasia.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I actually told my parents one time that I wanted my name legally changed to add a middle name because my oldest sister had a middle name.
And you felt left out.
And I felt like I got gypped.
Oh, that's...
What? Who does that?
Who does that?
You give one kid a middle name, you got to do it for all of them.
And what if you're like, middle name, and they're like, leave it blank?
Apparently they did.
Okay.
So, fun fact about me, no middle name.
No middle name. Well, maybe they knew that you were so smart that you were going to create your own middle name.
Maybe I was just so wonderful that I just didn't need it.
Yeah,
but you know what? My big sister is absolutely wonderful as well.
Gotcha.
So,
what's her middle name?
Her middle name is Isela.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of other cultures and countries use their father's name as their middle name.
Yeah. It's a double last name.
Or so what they do is son of Sergey, or in the Russian culture or Ukrainian culture,
Yeah.
it would be son of, and then whatever your dad's name is.
Okay.
But since there's a different language, it kind of sounds different. So
True.
if your dad's name was Sergey, you would be Sergeyev.
I see.
And for a woman, it'd be Sergey or something.
Okay.
It's kind of sexed a little bit as
Well, see,
well.
it works. It works in certain languages. I feel like it doesn't work as well in the American culture.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But
Ah,
it's neither here nor there.
okay.
But anyhow, Lynette Perez, I am 42 years old. Do you know I had to actually pull out an age calculator this morning to really remember? Because I literally forgot how old I was. If I was 41 or 42 already. I'm 42.
Yeah, I was telling people I was 40 like at 35. You know?
Why?
I was boosting myself up.
You boosted yourself.
Give them a older age so that I looked a lot younger, even though I look a lot younger than what I
I
actually
mean,
am.
you look younger than 40. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, so
But okay.
I was
But
lying a little bit.
anywho, I'm 42. I do look like I'm much younger than 42. In fact, I get all the
Yes.
time people are like, "What? You're 42?"
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be 43 at the end of the year. 43. How on earth did that happen? Anyway, I'm 42.
Magic. Hard work and dedication.
I guess so. And I feel like I'm aging backwards, which is nice. you know?
Benjamin Button's disease.
I guess. What would you call that for a female?
No.
Benjamina Button.
Yeah. All
You
right.
know, but it's true. I feel younger now than I did even 5 years ago,
Okay.
which is amazing.
Stress level can make people feel aged.
Yes, the
You know?
stress level has gone down, way down. My weight has gone way down, and just life has just become very peaceful and amazing.
Something that you look forward to doing.
Yes, so that I
Gotcha.
think is contributing greatly to my aging backwards. My hometown, I am an island girl. So I am from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix. That's where I was born.
So I have a question real quick before
Yeah.
we continue. Birth city or birth town and hometown are two different
Okay.
questions,
You know,
right?
you are right. You are right.
Because my birth city is Niagara Falls, New York, right?
Okay. Okay.
But my hometown is Northport, Florida.
Makes sense.
You
That's
know?
fair. That's fair. Well, you know, I spent the first 6 years of my life in St. Croix.
So that is your hometown, or birth,
sort of.
or birth
I
city.
would, it's a little bit of both. I feel like, because I feel like I that was a formative time in my life, and I was in the islands, and then we moved here to Orlando, and I've pretty much been here ever since. So I'm clearly an Orlandonian, and Orlando, Florida, is my hometown as well.
Good.
You know,
And all the little sub cities that you know about Orlando.
well, yeah, the area.
You know.
I mean, it's a very spread out.
So what
city.
area are we technically in?
We're in technically East Orlando.
East Orlando.
East Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What is the next like sub city that you would, call?
I don't know. There's
Because
several around
a
here.
lot of metropolitan cities all have small,
Oh yeah, there's a ton here.
and I didn't realize that
Yeah.
until I got to Dallas, and then I realized that okay, we're in Dallas Fort Worth, but there's so many little cities
Yeah. That
within-
make up the bigger city.
which makes up the bigger city.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
it kinda-
Orlando is just just like that. The
Gotcha.
same. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. Do you want to talk? Let's talk about some of your early life experiences.
So how did it all begin?
How did it all begin?
So early life, like I said, I lived in the islands for the first 6 years of my life before my family moved here to Orlando back in 1990. So we moved here, and pretty much I've spent the rest of my life here, except for a period where I lived in Titusville, Florida, which is really only like 45 minutes away, for about 5 years. Yeah. But apart from that, I've lived in Orlando ever since. I went to school in this local area. In fact, we live in the area that I grew up in pretty much. I went to did all my schooling here. I am the youngest of three daughters.
Ooh, baby of the family.
Baby of the family.
Me as well.
You as well. Look at that. Two babies together. But yeah, I'm the youngest of three daughters. I do have three half sisters that are older than us. However, I'm not as close with them. So yeah, I have no brothers. So can you imagine a house full of estrogen growing up? Ooh. You can't, right?
What is one memory that you can remember that you would like to share about your hometown or birth city that sticks with you?
Oh, I can tell you for sure. It's for sure the beach.
The beach, tropical.
Yeah, in St. Croix. I remember the routine was usually on the weekends. On Sundays was the beach day. We would get up early and go to church. And then after church, we would come home and pack up and go to the beach and spend the rest of the day at the beach. And that memory sticks out to me very much. Even though I was really young doing that, I feel like that's a memory that sticks out to me. And I remember the beaches that we would go to. There was one beach that was called Kramer's Park, which I think was probably my favorite beach. That was on, I think, the east end of the island. And then there was Sandy Point, which was on the west end of the island.
If you ever went back on vacation, would you go back to those beaches?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Those beaches are just idyllic.
I
The water down there is...
I wonder how much it would cost for 2 plane tickets to go back.
You know, it's not that much.
No?
It's not that much.
It's not. It's technically not an international flight, right?
No, it's technically not an international flight.
Okay.
But yes, on the bucket list
Put
for us
that
to travel
baby
to.
on the bucket list.
Yes, I'm absolutely taking you there because the beaches are like nothing else you've seen, and that's what sticks out in my memory. As far as my childhood.
What is a food that you can relate to that area? Like, because you know how most cities and towns and everyone have like that signature dish.
Let me tell you. Well, it wasn't a signature dish. I mean, it's island food. So I would say, as far as a signature dish itself, I would say curry.
Curry.
And that's not like the Indian curry from India. It's different.
It's
a
Caribbean curry.
It's a Caribbean curry.
Okay.
It tends to be, I think, less spicy, depending on where you get it.
Sweeter.
In the Caribbean.
Sweet stuff.
Not sweet necessarily, but
just not as
like
overpowering.
Fire. I know, like
yes.
the curry from India is like they have to wear a gas mask to cook it.
It's real gritty to me, just to me, from my experience.
Caribbean. I would say, as far as a signature dish, Caribbean curry. Now, the food that I associate the most with my memories from living down there was this bread that came from a bakery, a small bakery that we lived close to within walking distance called Thomas's Bakery. And on the weekends, my dad would walk down there early in the morning on Saturdays because this place was open from the crack of dawn. They start baking early. And he would go get a few loaves of this butter bread and bring it home, and we would have what we called Saturday breakfast.
Ooh,
and
nice.
My mom would cook, eggs and bacon, and with this bread, orange juice and things like that. But let me tell you, this bread is like no other bread you've had before. It is so rich and dense and buttery, and the smell when you walk in that bakery was just divine.
Fantastic.
And so for me, as far as my memories of being in the islands, I associate it the most with that bread because I still dream about it.
Oh, fresh bread is delicious for sure.
And this bread was like no other bread. So whenever I take you down there, we're going to Thomas's Bakery.
Hopefully they're still in business.
Oh, they're still there.
Okay.
In fact, I think they've expanded to Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
The same people, I think, that own the one in the islands expanded to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I don't know if they're still there in Georgia, but I know for sure they're still in the islands. So
All right.
they're a staple. They've been there for many, many years. So yeah, that's the earliest the memories that I associated with living in the islands. Now living here in Orlando was it was good. It was good. It was different. I like as I said, I'm the youngest of three daughters. I went to my schooling here.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the schooling.
I was a very good student. Always got A's, good
High-
grades,
High GPA, baby.
high achiever. I took pride in that. That was my job as a kid, was to do well in school. In high school, I was involved in extracurricular activities, and I did student government. Was one of the activities that I did. I did color guard with the marching band, so I spun flags and saber.
Oh, nice.
Do you know what a saber is?
That's the sword?
Yeah, it looks like a sword.
Okay.
And I was
Remember when we seen the LARPing?
yeah, LARPing.
The LARPers?
It wasn't that kind of sword. It's a little bit different, but
Yeah, like
you
when you see the military guy come out with that
Yeah,
sword,
right, that's a saber,
a
essentially.
version of what you were doing.
exactly. But this one was specifically for performing and doing spinning and all that stuff. So I did
Alright.
that in high school. What else did I do in high school? So color guard. I did student government.
What was the
Gosh,
high
I
school?
can't remember. University High School,
That's what it's called. So it's right around
home
here,
of
right?
the Cougars.
The Cougar. Hey.
Yeah, it is right around here. In fact, I pass it every day going to work.
Okay. Do you have any memorabilia from the Cougars?
I do.
You do.
I do. I've got pictures. My color guard pictures I've got
Okay.
up in the office.
What about a
over there.
T-shirt?
I do have some of the T-shirts still.
Can you still get this? Is it the same logo or did they rebrand?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure they've
We
rebranded
should
at this
definitely
point.
check that out.
But I do have my old shirts from those days. But yeah. So I was, and I of course I was all about my studies and doing well and keeping a high GPA because I knew from early on that I was going to have to pay my way through college, and I definitely wanted to go through college. And it was not going to be paid for me.
Gotcha.
That was made
so
clear.
you needed
So
an academic scholarship.
Yeah, so I actually from middle school decided that I was going to work really hard and keep a high GPA, do all the things I needed to do in order to be able to get a full ride scholarship.
Well, that's good that you got the opportunity to do a university because most people that cannot afford to go to college or pay their way through college themselves have to do a junior college 2
Yeah.
years first, and then especially if you have low grades. If you have low grades, you almost have to prove to a university that you have what it takes to even do the junior college route.
Right, exactly.
So a lot of athletes that have horrible grades have to do JUCO so that they can get their GPA up high enough that the university will accept them.
Right.
Now, they make a lot of exceptions for high skilled athletes, but when it comes to academics, it's pretty black and white.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, and a lot of students have to do that. You know what? There's nothing wrong with it. If that's the route you gotta go, then that's the route you gotta go. My GPA was high enough to where I did get that Bright Futures, what is called Bright Futures Scholarship here in Florida. That's what they call it. And I had to do lots of community service. I had to keep a high GPA. I had to get a certain score on my SATs.
What was it? You remember?
My SAT score had to be 1270.
Ooh, that's pretty up there.
And I got a 1270 to get my full ride scholarship.
Oh yeah.
I also took the ACT.
All right.
I think I got a 25 on that. I don't remember, but I think the SAT score is the one that got me in to the scholarship. So that was me in high school. I was pretty focused on the academics and all that stuff. And then once I got my scholarship, I went to the fine institution called the University of Central Florida that is down the road from us.
Yeah.
Yes, University of Central Florida, UCF.
Great,
Go Knights.
great college. Great college.
Yes, I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. From there, and then afterwards, I took a year off, just try to decide what I wanted to do, because I mean, psychology is a very broad field. There's a lot of things you can do. Lots of different subsections of psychology. You can do clinical psychology, which is the typical, counseling, working with mental health issues, things like that. There's, the social work aspect of it you can do. There's, the business side of it that you can do.
The business side is what you're actually doing right now, right? It's
Yeah,
a little bit of both.
I actually, and so I took that year off and I kind of explored and tried to decide what I wanted to do, because, when I was doing the bachelor's degree in psychology, I actually did some volunteer work at a psychiatric ward.
Talk about that one.
And that sort of turned me off to the whole clinical psychology side of things, even though it was fascinating.
But it's good that you experienced that early on in your schooling and your degrees, so that you didn't get all the whatever you needed to do, and then the final goal, you get to where you wanted to be, and you're like, oh, wait a minute here.
Yeah,
this
and
is not what I expected.
It was fascinating because I got to see a lot of the mental illnesses that I had been studying about in my classes, like major depressive disorder. I got to see somebody who had schizophrenia, all sorts of things. But it was weird because literally when I would leave there at the end of the day, I would still be like walking around the world, almost feeling like I was still in the psych ward and thinking, okay, these people around me have mental illnesses, but no, they don't, because I've already left for the day. And so I kind of didn't like that. It was weird. I felt weird afterwards.
Yes, it can definitely put a spin on you.
So I said, well, maybe clinical psychology is not for me. Even though I find it fascinating, it would be hard, I think, to turn that on and off.
I remember you told me something that was very intriguing and interesting. You said the brain studying the brain.
Yeah, essentially that is what it is. Psychology is the brain studying
the brain studying
itself.
The brain.
It's brain studying the brain. So yeah, I mean, it was fascinating, but I don't think it was for me. So that during that gap year that I took a class about industrial and organizational psychology, which is the field that I ended up getting my master's degree in. And
you love it.
I do.
Good.
I think it was an excellent choice for me. And
well, they say if you do what you love for a living, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And so I got my master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology, also from UCF.
Yes.
Which was a good choice. And just to expand upon that a little bit, industrial and organizational psychology is the application of psychological principles to the workplace. So managing basically the greatest resource that every company has, which is the people.
Yes.
Their satisfaction, their learning, their utilization, maximizing their knowledge and skills. That's all part of it, HR type stuff.
Yeah.
There's,
So you would be like the HR, technically. If you were going to work outside of the place that you do work, you would probably be part of the HR department?
Yeah, probably. And, I did an internship during my master's degree at Darden Restaurants at their corporate headquarters. And I was part of their HR talent development and talent assessment departments. So I did work with some of their training for their different restaurants. I helped with what they call an assessment center for selecting general managers for their restaurants, which was excellent experience. And it was exactly the stuff that I was learning in my master's degree. So it was cool.
I was getting 1, 2, 3 application, and you got to do it hands-on while you were learning.
As I was learning about it.
Which is awesome.
It was awesome. After my master's degree, so I was there at Darden doing that internship during the entire master's degree. It was a lot of work because it was pretty much I was working full time there and going to classes at night. So it was hard work, but it paid off. And so when I graduated with my master's degree, I got a job with government. And I've worked with government since.
Gotcha.
Now, my first job out of my master's degree was with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in their HR department.
You were a copper.
No, I wasn't a copper.
Okay,
I was
I was
never
just
in
joking.
uniform.
Yes.
I did,
But
get
you're
to-
pretty close to being a copper.
not even not even close.
Okay.
Not even
all
close.
right, all
I
right.
did get to work with a lot of with the deputies that were
All
there, and that was interesting work because that was exactly related to my field as well. I did job analysis and I did some test development there. So yeah, that was my first job out of my master's degree. I had that job lined up as soon as I graduated, and I was bound and determined because that was back in 2008 at the first whole like economic bubble.
And you wanted to
all that
work
stuff.
for the Orange County thing. That was your goal. You
my
had that. You
goal
had your eyes
was-
set on that job from before you got your final degree.
Yes. Now my goal
Okay.
was just to have a job
Yes.
because I knew it was going to be difficult given the economy.
And you did not want to go to the sane asylum and work.
No, I did not.
Okay.
And so I started looking for work, and I ended up being the only student in my cohort that graduated that May to have a job lined up at graduation.
Oh, nice.
So I was very
Now-
lucky.
Let's take a step back real quick before we go forward. Since you were interning at the Darden Company,
Mhm.
how long would you say you worked for the Darden Company for essentially free?
It wasn't for free; it was paid.
Yes, but how long was it?
It was 2 years. It was a
2
2-year
years.
internship I did. With them.
Okay, and how
Yeah.
much could you say you brought home per year?
Oh geez, it was nothing. I think
Was
I think
it-
I made $10 an hour at that.
Wow.
But it was paid.
You're right.
And most
you're right.
internships
Are
were not paid. It was just
You're
for the
okay.
experience. So it was a good one, and I was getting the experience and a little bit of pay. And now I wasn't living on my own at that
You're
point.
right. You're right.
So it's not like I had the grown up living on your own bills,
Gotcha.
So it was fine. It was
You're
fine,
right.
Whatever.
Okay. No sweat, right?
So yeah, I worked at the sheriff's office for.
Okay. Hang on. One more question because I'm a
Okay.
restaurant person. I like to
Oh,
know
okay.
the ins and outs of the restaurants, right?
Oh, okay.
Did the Darden Company come with a salary offer before you left as an intern?
They came with a job offer. They didn't have a whole lot of details as far as the salary. So I don't even know how much I would have gotten paid. So
Okay.
that's why I couldn't take it.
All right.
Because the sheriff's office was
They had
crystal clear.
here's the
This is the job
contract.
you're doing. This
Let's
is
go.
what you're getting paid. And so I took it.
gotcha.
And you know what? It's worked out perfectly for me.
All right. Well, thank you for shedding light on that.
So I worked there, 2008 to 2011. And then that was great experience that got me into the field. And then I now work in the federal government, and I design training for the military.
Nice.
That's what I do, which is very interesting work. I will say I enjoy it, and it's fascinating, and I feel like I am supporting the warfighter and those who are putting themselves in harm's way to keep us free here in the United
safe.
States, free and safe. So
They're
that's
protecting
the
our
motivation.
They're protecting our free will,
They are,
and
They
you're
are.
helping them.
Yes, I'm helping them do that, helping them get out there, do what they need to do, and come back home to their families.
All right.
So that's what I do now. So that's kind of my education and my career altogether.
Okay. So let's move away from the schooling and the early beginnings and
Because there's so much more to life
yes.
than that.
So let's get into some of your hobbies. What have you been?
Ooh, hobbies.
been
Hobbies are interesting because I've only recently gotten into hobbies. To be honest, just because my life has been such that I just haven't had time for myself.
Work.
It's been
right?
work, taking care of others, and I've
Okay.
neglected myself.
Well,
I neglected to get to know myself and to do the things that I like and that bring me enjoyment now that I've discovered. And really, I've just, within the last couple of years, discovered these things. I literally didn't know myself very well, or what I wanted to do, or what I really liked to do, or what really brought me joy
Alright.
for most of my life.
So what are some of those things?
So, and you, honey,
It's not
have
about me.
introduced me to a lot of these hobbies.
Okay. But this one's not about me.
It
This
is.
is
I know
about
it's not
you.
about you, but I'm saying you have been my partner in crime in these hobbies, and
Okay.
I cannot tell you how much that
Maybe
means to
I
me.
am your hobby.
You're my favorite hobby.
Hey.
Okay,
Okay.
you're tops in that hobby list.
Go ahead. Shoot.
You know, but
Hobby
after-
number one.
But after you, there are several that I've discovered, and I would say the biggest one is gardening.
Yes.
Like
That's awesome.
I had no idea how much joy and peace gardening would bring me. And it
Well, it's-
started with you wanting a pepper tree, and I
Okay.
took it and I ran with it. I ran hard and fast. Then I dragged you with me.
Yeah,
Um,
I was. So go ahead and describe how it all begun.
Well, there was we had one of the hurricanes, and I put my patio table on the side of the house so it wouldn't fly around, And then I left it there for like a few months because it was just heavy and I didn't feel like moving it. And then so when I finally got rid of the table, there was this square patch where basically the table had killed all the
And
grass.
it was rich.
And
There was earthworms.
Yeah, and you saw it, and you're like, "Hey, that would be the perfect spot for like a little garden or something." I'm like, "A garden, okay." Well, he's like, "Yeah, we should get like a pepper tree or something." And there was this other like planter box that had broken. The dogs had broken over there. That was just kind of there, and I didn't have the energy to.
And I
at
wanted
that
to
point.
do something nice for you or something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
you're recording me at that point.
I was
so-
trying to do something nice. So I wanted to show a different side of myself.
Yeah, and I showed it to you. And you're like, I can fix that.
I'm like, I think I can fix something.
You cleaned up the planter box that was broken, and then you decided, okay, let's do a little garden in this square spot since the grass is already dead. So you took cinder blocks that were on the other side of the house that had just been thrown there, and you built the little planter, and it was so cute and small.
And it was little.
It was little. It only had
And-
room for a basil tree and like a couple of pepper
Yeah,
trees.
but it was cool. That's how it all started. And
That's how it all started.
and then the dogs ate it. Oh, I was so mad.
They ate
Remember?
the peppers, yeah.
So we had these little pepper trees and we had sunflowers. We had this gigantic sunflower and it was just starting to bloom. And I took the dogs out and then I go over there and I'm like, wait a minute, where'd the sunflower go? And the next thing you know, I see the dog running with the sunflower in its mouth. And
Valkyrie.
I was like, oh.
Valkyrie is our pup. She's almost 6, and she likes to eat flowers. She's always liked to eat flowers, in fact. So I guess that one looked especially scrumptious to her.
Gotcha. So that's how the gardening started, right?
That's how it started, and it took over. Let me tell you. So we expanded that little tiny planter box. It was probably like 3 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah,
or
it was
something?
probably about 3 feet by 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really small.
Now it's on that side of the house. It's the entire length of the house.
So what would you say, about 30 foot?
Yeah. And it's the other side. There's a little walkway in the middle, and there's a whole other planter box along the fence. And we've now built like this small, short fence he built to keep the dogs out because they like to go in there
Yeah,
and trample
well,
stuff.
home improvement is one of my hobbies
Yeah.
as well. So I wanted to share that with you as well, and bringing other people joy
Yes.
is one of my hobbies.
And let
Making
me tell
other
you,
people
it has,
smile.
it has brought me endless joy. And you too, I think.
Oh yeah,
Because it's fed into our little morning routine that brings me lots of joy as well. Is that we go out there and we look at our garden every day, just
Yeah.
about in our pajamas, first thing in the
Earthing.
morning
Earthing.
when we're out there doing our earthing. Your earthing.
Well, I don't know if you've do it, but I do it.
You do your earthing. I kind of I give you time actually to just do it because I know that that's an important part of your routine and it gets you in the right headspace. So I kind of give you some time and then I'll go out there with my coffee. And then we'll sit for a while, drink our coffee, and then we'll go look at our garden and see what has grown overnight and ripened. Right now we are overflowing with cherry tomatoes, and we've got lots of peppers, some really
Okay.
hot banana peppers.
What did
and
you have
jalapenos.
Breakfast today.
Let me tell you, this morning I had an amazing omelet
Ooh.
that Mr. Carl spoiled me with
Ooh,
today.
nice.
We went
And-
out, we picked some tomatoes.
Oh,
we
all
picked
the ingredients came from the garden?
just about. We picked some onions.
Man.
We picked some peppers. We picked some parsley,
Farm to table.
some cilantro, some tomatoes, and he made an amazing pico to go on top of the omelet, and
All
it was
from
great.
where?
All from our garden
That started with what?
with a little pepper tree.
Yes.
And
So,
look at what it has
By a
done.
little tiny pepper tree took over.
Took over, and now it's feeding us.
Yep. So I like to do the gardening. My hobby is to garden stuff that can be eaten. And
Yes.
there's so much, pride and love put into the earth to produce back. So I'm a firm believer in if you take care of the earth is going to take care of you.
Yeah, that's true.
So farm to table is what I like. I wish I could have a whole restaurant that was farm to table.
Oh, yes. I love
You know?
that. I love that very much. Now, I also like flowers too. And flowers are an important part of gardening to produce food because
Yes.
you've got to attract pollinators,
Yes.
which are like bees and butterflies and things like that to pollinate your crops.
Yep. So if the bees disappear, guess what? Everything is going to die.
Yeah. So I love flowers as well. I think probably one of my favorite flowers are sunflowers, which we haven't had much success with. We're gonna keep
Well,
trying.
We did, but we kind of abandoned them.
But you
once
know when
the
you got
dog-
when you got a dog eating your flowers,
Yeah,
I mean
once
it's
the
kind of
dog
hard.
chopped that thing's head off, we were like, and we kind of abandoned the sunflower game.
But we're
we
not
need to get
giving
back
up.
into it.
We will get into it. So sunflowers are my favorite flower, and I think snapdragons. I really like snapdragons. They're beautiful.
What about the bougainvillea?
The bougainvilleas. Yeah, I love all sorts of flowers. I love the bougainvillea. I love salvia. We've got this huge salvia that is so happy in our garden right now and is attracting bees and everything. It's gorgeous. So yeah, I like the flowers as well. As an offshoot of the gardening hobby, I've gotten into houseplants. And I have turned our house into a mini jungle in less than 3 months, I think.
Yes. So my gardening style, since we're in Florida, I like to keep it tropical.
Okay.
I want it to have a nice tropical vibe. And I'm not too into the whole beauty side of it. I'm basically into the production side.
Yes.
But I still love it.
See, now that makes it so that we go very well together because I'm into the beauty side of it. You make it happen, and you have.
Okay. So we're probably going to be talking a lot about gardening moving forward. But what are some of the other hobbies?
Okay, so gardening. What other hobbies? I would have to say, I don't know. Oh, biking.
Biking.
Biking. We've gotten into biking.
Okay.
We have a mini fleet of bicycles.
Okay.
I've got one bike. He's got like 4.
So fitness is definitely a hobby.
Outdoor stuff.
Anything
Outdoor stuff.
outdoors, right?
That's definitely something I've gotten into a lot more since I met you. Is doing stuff outdoors, just getting fresh air, being out. I mean, it's great. And biking is one of the big ones. So we like to go biking at some of these local trails that we've got around here. We've got some really good ones.
And it's so good for your physical
It's great. And
mind.
you
too.
took me off-road biking for the first time. I've never done that
She
before.
crashed.
I crashed.
And
I've only crashed one
I
time.
picked her up. She's seen me crash too. Oh, remember I crashed hard too.
Yeah,
I broke my finger.
That wasn't even like on a legitimate
No,
bike
that
ride
was an
either.
accident. But that's how dangerous it is.
That can be, but
No,
you
a
know,
lot
the
of
mountain
people-
biking was pretty cool though because
A lot
I
of
had
people
never done
don't
it.
think how dangerous just riding a bike is, but it is very, very dangerous.
And really,
Yeah.
a bush broke my fall for the most
Yes.
part.
So I'm riding and I'm in front of her, and next thing you know, I hear,
It wasn't that bad.
and then she's like, I'm down. And next thing you know, I'm off the bike and I picked her up and I'm just laughing. I'm like, are you hurt? And she wasn't hurt. She dusted herself off and she got back out there. So she
there was a small cut on my leg. That was it.
Yeah.
A little bit of blood,
and
but it
I
was
said,
fine.
hey, why'd you wear those stupid ankle socks?
Oh, whatever.
Now what do you wear when you go biking?
Whatever I want.
Oh, okay.
That's what I wear.
Okay. All right. So those are some of the cool hobbies. Podcasting is a newest hobby.
Podcasting is the latest hobby, and we're enjoying it a lot so far. We're still getting it. I think getting it set up part is kind of cool. I'm still learning
From the ground up, baby.
Yeah.
So I've always been into recording music, and I see everybody else doing podcasts. So I think we got something here.
Yeah, I think it's fun. So yeah, those are
Okay.
the hobbies so
All right.
far, and I hope to discover many, many more hobbies.
Okay. So let's talk about some fears.
Ooh,
What
fears.
are some
Okay,
of
so
your
we're
fears?
talking about life now.
Yeah, this
Life.
whole thing has been about life.
True, true, true.
So what are some fears that you
Oh,
have?
fears. I throughout my life have considered myself relatively fearless. You know, I think I've had to be just to kind of push myself through some challenges, and I think that a lot of things that normal people fear, I don't fear, like death.
Yeah.
I don't really fear death because it's something that's going to happen to everybody. You know,
Regardless, yeah.
and I've had some experiences, some painful experiences, traumatic experiences with death that I think have cured me of that, and I have faced it.
Head on, right?
And faced it bravely and lived to tell. With my former spouse who was diagnosed with cancer, I kind of went through that whole cancer battle and all that stuff with him, and so that kind of cured me of the fear of death. So I don't think a lot of things that normal people fear. Like
Okay.
death.
What about bugs? Anything like that? On a softer note,
Bugs?
like a fear that you have. Like some people are afraid of spiders.
Listen,
Some people are afraid of
I cannot
elephants.
handle cockroaches.
Yeah, I think
I
everybody-
cannot. I absolutely cannot.
I think everybody's afraid of cockroaches.
And and if one decides to fly,
Oof.
I am burning down the
Oof.
house. Okay,
What about
they can have the house.
like Fear Factor?
No.
So
Listen, I
if they
can't.
say, hey, $100,000, that cockroach right there, eat that.
They can keep it. They can
Okay,
keep the
okay.
100. They can keep it.
That's crazy.
I'll stay poor.
That is crazy that
I can't. No,
People were
absolutely not. So
huffing down cockroaches for money.
Come on, why? And it
You're
wasn't
right.
even for like a lot of money.
No, it wasn't.
Ugh, that's ridiculous.
Fear
Why?
factor.
Oh, that's stupid people. Anyway, no, cockroaches, I cannot.
Okay.
As far as my biggest fear, though, I would say my biggest fear is abandonment and being forgotten. That is something that I still struggle with to this day. It has been a fear I've had my whole life. And I would say that is by far the biggest fear I have.
Okay. Let's so those are some fears. I have some fears too, but we're not talking about me, we're talking about you right now.
Me?
So what are some life goals that you have for the future, and what do you see in your future?
Gosh, I've got some goals, and I feel like I'm still establishing what those goals are, just because.
Well, goals change.
Yeah, and goals can change, and they probably should change based on your circumstances, and I think that my circumstances have been such for so long that I didn't really have a lot of goals, and I didn't see a path forward. But
Day by day, just
I didn't see. The future that I see now is completely different than the future that I saw for myself less than 3 years ago. So I feel like I'm still trying to establish that.
like time capsules.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do it where, like, so in my 20s, imagine if I wrote down like 5 or 6 goals and buried it, completely forgot it was there, and then now I'm 40, I dig that up and I look at it, and you would be like, oh my God, my goals have changed
Yeah,
so much.
yeah, because we change over time.
People change.
So, but for me, it was a lot of just because I didn't really have a lot of time for myself. I was pouring so much into other people. I didn't really see a path for myself, and I didn't allow myself to dream and hope for those things. But now I do.
Nice.
And it's been incredible to kind of figure out what this next chapter of my life is going to look like. And, you know, it is coming together beautifully so far. And, you know, I think the future is now completely open for me. I mean, there's so many possibilities that it was like once those doors opened and my mind opened up to that, I was like, wow, I can literally do whatever I want now.
Yeah, so you had to close some doors for
Yes.
new ones to open.
Yes, some doors had to close, and you know, it was incredible that you know and I might get into this in a future episode, but it was incredible how it happened that it was almost like the universe had seen me and said, "Okay, we've been preparing her for this for a long time. She has had enough. She has reached her limit." And we've got to get her out, and we've got to extract her. And it was incredible that, you know, and I can remember key points at which I could almost feel those doors opening and appearing. And my mindset changed. You know, opportunities came up, doors opened, my courage built up to where everything just aligned perfectly for my situation to change. And like you said, you know, there were some painful doors that closed. There were some doors that needed to be closed that I didn't know needed to be closed. There were doors there that opened that I didn't know were there. And, you know, and there were doors that had been wide open the whole time that I didn't have the courage to walk through.
Yes.
And it all aligned perfectly to where all of those things happened at once. And my life was changed. And I had the energy and the courage to change it.
Yeah, you were probably making slow changes without even realizing them. And then when you look back at the situation now that you're here where you're at now, back then you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And so it has been the last 2.5 years of my life have been revolutionary just in terms of my mental health.
So I say
and my physical health.
Whenever you're starting to make changes, I look at it like this, and there's a saying. It's not going to happen overnight because it didn't happen overnight.
Correct.
Right?
You're right.
So you can wake up one day and be like, all right, everything's changing. You can do that. But you're not going to see the results that you're seeking right away.
Right.
So...
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen overnight because it didn't happen overnight.
Right, and it's still a work in progress. You know, but you know, for me, I feel like I saw so many. I guess I hadn't seen many changes for so long that when all of these changes started happening, I was like, whoa,
yeah,
my head's spinning, and so it felt like it was very fast.
Yes.
So you know, as far as life goals, like I said, I feel like I'm in a spot now where it's wide open. You know, I've got. And I think my goals really focus more on my personal fulfillment more than
career path, right?
Career path, and you know, just the kind of logistical stuff of life. Because I feel like I haven't done a lot of the things that I need for my own personal fulfillment.
Nice.
Like, I want to travel. Yeah. I want to see the world. I want to continue to get to know myself, because I feel like that's still something I'm doing, you know, and discovering new hobbies. And you know, I want to be ultimately happy and, you know, at peace with myself.
You want to slash some more stuff off the bucket list.
Accomplish that bucket list that I feel like we all have, but we never chase after, and I want to chase after that. So yeah, I think my goals are to continue to get to know myself, to, you know, find peace and joy in life, And, you know, if I get to do it with you, that would be the ultimate.
Me too. I feel the same way. Okay, so let's what do you want the world to remember you by, or what's your legacy that you want to leave behind?
What's my legacy? that I
Or
wanna leave
or
behind?
what do you want to tell the people that may be listening?
Well, I think that I would want people to remember me for, and I think this is in general how people remember people is the way that they made them feel. I want people to remember the way that I made them feel, and I hope
What about
that
the way you smell?
the way I smell too, and get me talking about the way I
No,
smell.
never mind. Sorry.
Because that and then that's another one of my hobbies / obsessions
Ooh.
is fragrances.
Fragrances are good.
Perfumes. I have way too many. But as far as my legacy, I want people to remember me for my kindness, and for making them feel included,
Inclusion
and
is a good one.
cared for, and valued,
Loved.
and loved. That's the legacy I want to leave behind, and the mark that I want to leave on the world. If I can leave it even a little bit of a kinder place, then that is good enough for me.
You want to leave it better than you found it.
Yes,
That's all I want to do as well.
Exactly. So I think that would be the legacy, and and of course, remember that I smell good too.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I
You don't
smell
want to be
good,
known
making
as,
the world a better place.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as a
In
funk.
particular, that I smelled like vanilla.
Vanilla
most
is a
of the
good
time.
one.
So, but yeah, I think that's the legacy that I would want to leave behind.
Okay. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed your sharing of information about you.
Well,
And
thank you.
I am
Did you learn?
glad.
Did you learn something new about me
I
today?
did.
Did you?
Yeah.
What is it? What was it that you learned that was new, that you didn't know about me already?
Well, I knew a lot of that information, but I also learned that you want to leave a legacy and you want to smell good doing it. No, that's a joke. But yeah, you care for a lot of people, and me and you have spent a lot of time together, so I'm glad we're on the same page moving forward,
Okay, I think that we are. I'm glad about that too. So
Okay.
so yeah, that's me, and I'm still a work in progress like everybody else.
It's not going to happen overnight
Nobody's
because
perfect.
it didn't happen overnight.
No, it sure did not. It took 40 years for it to happen. Hopefully,
yeah.
it doesn't take 40 years for it to unhappen.
Yeah, you're right. And I learned that you were 42.
42. You knew I was 42.
Yeah, I did.
What do you mean you didn't? You learned.
Okay. All right, guys. Stay tuned for the next installment.
Yes. Next installment. Take care, guys.
Thanks for hanging out.
Stay connected to the podcast via handle at Intriguing Insights Podcast on YouTube and Gmail, and handle at Intriguing Insights Pod on Instagram.
See you next time.